is the Project for the New American Century. Based in Washington, D.C., this think tank includes such members as Vice President Dick Cheney, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld, Defense Advisor Paul Wolfowitz, and Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Politically close to the Israeli Likud party, the group openly advocates the cause of American leadership, the need to increase defense spending significantly, challenging regimes hostile to our interests and values, extending an international order friendly to our security, our prosperity, and our principles. While traditional American conservatives are more focused on taking care of problems at home, these self-proclaimed neoconservatives focus on promoting U.S. economic and military domination over the world. About $1.5 billion to $6.5 billion, only because oil has allowed for more food to be grown and distributed than ever before.
World food production is so dependent upon hydrocarbon energy. All commercial fertilizers are made out of natural gas, which produces ammonia. All pesticides are made out of oil. Now with agribusiness, you drive an oil-powered machine to plow, you drive an oil-powered machine to plant, then you fertilize it with natural gas, then you irrigate it with water that's pumped by electric pumps where the electricity comes from burning natural gas or oil in most cases. Then you spray it with oil pesticides, then you harvest it with an oil-powered vehicle, and the bottom line is that we eat 10 calories of hydrocarbon energy for every calorie of food consumed on the planet.
All around the world, oil consumption is exploding. New gigantic markets, such as those in India and China, have opened up to modern consumerism and have driven the global need for oil through the roof.
China, with its red-hot economy, just passed Japan as the second largest importer of oil on the planet. China's economy has had like a 10% growth rate. It's on fire. The Chinese people are demanding more computers, automobiles. Chinese auto sales up 100% in 1 year. GM sales in China up 300% in 1 year. That's what keeps the American economy going.
La superpuissance consomme.
The United States, the only superpower, uses 20 million barrels of oil every day, and it is estimated that it will need 25 million barrels per day around 2020. While its own reserves are dwindling, the U.S. only produces 5 to 6 million barrels per day and imports almost 3/4 of the oil it needs.
Satellite imaging applied to oil exploration has confirmed a stark reality. With increasing consumption and diminishing reserves, the world is rapidly running out of oil. At the current rate of production, the West will be first to hit the zero mark by 2010. At this point, both the United States and Europe will depend entirely on outside sources for their oil. Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union, while self-sufficient today, are next and due to run out by 2013. With its exploding oil consumption, Asia will run dry in 2018. The reality, however, is that major conflicts are likely to erupt before any of these players actually runs out of oil.
Is it conceivable that the United States, that dominates the world with its technology, its economy, its military,
as far as Middle East policy, was to not just fabricate falsehoods for the Defense Department, but to push that into mainstream of American media.
Seeking any valid or fabricated evidence against Saddam Hussein, the Bush administration allies with an internationally wanted felon, the self-proclaimed Iraqi opposition leader Ahmed Chalabi.
Ahmed Shalabi has been living in Jordan. He ran away from this country on the 11th of August 1989. He was chairman of a bank, the Petra Bank, and he was accused of embezzlement. He has been condemned in absentia by a military court in Jordan for 22 years of prison, and he's responsible of over $1 billion of losses. I mean, this.
In the 95 years since Mesopotamian oil was first struck at Masjidi Suleiman, and a British lieutenant sent a telegram to the Glasgow office of Burma Oil which read, "See Psalm 104, verse 15, line 3, which is, of course... See, now when I did my gig in Texas, the entire audience as one roared out, "That he may bring out of the earth oil to make a cheerful countenance." In the 95 years since that telegram was deciphered in Glasgow, Britain has been at war with or occupying Iraq for 45 of them. Now, if you're a broadcaster, a journalist looking for a neutral, objective, analytical, coldly rational, ideologically uncluttered way to describe that reality, the phrase you're looking for will be something about British and American plans to bring democracy to the Middle East. Some kind of psalm singing is called for, some raising of hosannas to our benevolence. Which is why, when they ask me to go on Question Time, I say no. Because I'm not sure there's this rigid adherence to a dogmatic, entirely fictitious version of world events. And if you step outside it, you're just off the spectrum, they can't even hear you. And if I went on Question Time, there'd be a real danger that I'd just come across as some sort of anarchist nutter. Well, allow me to elucidate with reference to specifics. Why, for example, to go on Question Time and say, if the Nuremberg laws applied, Tony Blair would be hung. They'd lose their mind. This is rhetoric, offensive, sloganeering, nonsense, empirically true fact, by the way. What they were hung for at Nuremberg was, quote, planning and waging an aggressive war, full stop. No human being was tried for genocide on planet Earth until 1996 when the post-Habyarimana Hutu power were put on the stand in Kigali. What they were hung for at Nuremberg was planning and waging an aggressive war. Yes, but still offensive sloganeering, just nonsense. Of course we know in all seriousness. Of course Blair can't actually be a war criminal, can he? Of course Tony Blair can't be a war criminal. I mean, he listens to Oasis. And he can't be a war criminal because we know what war criminals look like. And they look like Goebbels. But what did Goebbels look like to the Germans? Well, you know, we're a modernising party. We've broken the mould of German politics. And sometimes it's better to be on the losing side for the right reasons than to be on the winning side for the wrong reasons. I know, of course, that the war has caused deep divisions in the country. But I also know we are faced with a real problem of global terrorism, which is not simply going to go away, much as we may wish it. And the only way we can deal with this problem is to kill and maim in Iraq in a war that came. Remix.